Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is presented by Cherokee Casino Grove and made possible by
At the Mid-America Industrial Park in Pryor, there are over 100 jobs waiting for someone just like you. These are high-paying jobs that don't require a degree. With over 80 manufacturing plants to choose from, it's easy to find your dream career. Need training? Don't worry, because Mid-America provides on-campus classes supported by employers. If you have recently graduated from high school and want to start a career in manufacturing, earning a great wage and benefits, visit midamericadeliver's.com to learn more.
Watched by viewers and members like you.
Did you hear the one about the big one that didn't get away? Let's get fired up with one of Grand Lake's newest business ventures. And we'll take a stroll on out to a favorite lakeside destination. Coming up on Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is 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 Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Welcome back to Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm your host, Christy Wallace. As the old saying goes, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. That might be the inspiration for Donnie and Stacy Crane, who recently opened up Fired Up Grand Lake. The Cranes have always enjoyed painting pottery, so opening a business to share their passion with others seemed like a natural fit. Located in the Grove Springs Cultural District, Fired Up is a great option to relax off the lake. With paint your own pottery, nostalgic candy, Grand Lake souvenirs, and Lake Life home decor items, you won't want to miss this adorable shop in downtown Grove.
Well, we moved over here to Grove because my husband, Donnie, actually got a job with the Chamber of Commerce. So we came over here for that. I grew up in the same town my entire life, so I wasn't sure about moving away from home, much less out of state. And we came over here to visit and just instantly fell in love. I mean, you know, everybody was nice. So we really enjoyed it, loved the lake, and I just couldn't find anything to say bad about it, so we decided to move, and it's been the best decision we've ever made. Donnie has always wanted to start a business of some sort, so once we got over here, I worked for a little while, and we got to talking about throwing out the idea of opening a business, and that's kind of what we decided to do, is go ahead here, perfect downtown, with all the antique shops and restaurants and stuff, so we couldn't think of a better place to open a business, so we decided to go ahead and do it. The nostalgic candy, we always like to go to candy stores when we go on vacation, and Donnie had started throwing out he would like to have a nostalgic candy store, something different in Grove, so I agreed. But then I wanted the paint your own pottery, because since our son had been small and started school, I've taken him to a place back home and done his handprint in a plate. And I told him, I said, what better place than Grove to open up paint your own pottery? And we did, and then we decided to include the lake souvenirs too. Everybody's come in has loved this store. They love the idea of having a place to bring the kids to have something fun to do during the summer when it's either raining and they can't be out on the lake, or just any time in general, to have something for the kids. But they've just, I mean, really have enjoyed the selection we have, and I am amazed at the creative children we have here in town. I mean, we've had some people do some really nice pieces, and even the smaller children come in and do a good job. Part of the process is you have to come in and you paint it 3 times, and then you leave it with me, and I have to put a clear glaze on it in order for it to fire correctly and come out shining. Well, where I have my work table at versus tables where kids paint, I've had kids be painting their piece and be really proud of them because they're doing a good job. And then they'll turn and look and see me painting everybody's piece green. And they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I have to paint your piece green after you paint it. And I've had a couple say, oh no, please don't do that to mine. And I explained to them that we have to make it shiny, and I thought of telling them it was a magic paint because they couldn't quite understand why it was green, but then it was going to come out looking like their piece. So once I tell them it's magic paint and that it turns back to what they've painted, they're usually okay with it. Unicorns definitely for the little girls. Paint a lot of unicorns. Sea turtles. I've had a lot of sea turtles painted. Puppy dogs. You know, there's several little pieces that they really gravitate to. I've had several grandparents bring their children in, or grandchildren in to paint. And I tell all of them, you know, this is a memory you're gonna remember for the rest of your life, because I still remember as a little girl sitting in my grandmother's laundry room, and she had her own kiln, and we would paint pottery, and then she would fire it for us. And it's just something that, you know, you'll hold on and treasure the rest of your life. Oh, I love it. I mean, it's really been exciting to see the kids come in and get excited, and the parents have a good time with them. I mean, I'm really happy to be able to bring something like this to town.
Fired Up Grand Lake is open Tuesday through Thursday from 10 to 6 and Friday and Saturday from 10 to 8. No appointment is needed. To learn more, visit them on Facebook. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more on Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
At the Mid-America Industrial Park in Pryor, there are over 100 jobs waiting for someone just like you. These are high-paying jobs that don't require a degree. With over 80 manufacturing plants to choose from, it's easy to find your dream career. Need training? Don't worry, because Mid-America provides on-campus classes supported by employers. If you have recently graduated from high school and want to start a career in manufacturing, earning a great wage and benefits, visit midamericadelivers.com to learn more.
Hello, our safety tip for today is what we're required to have in our vessel. Number one is a life jacket for every passenger in the boat. Make sure it fits everyone, and we have one for everybody that's going to be with us for that day. Another required item is a throw cushion, a simple device that we can throw to somebody that's in trouble in the water. If we are to have trouble on the water with our vessel, we are to have a simple paddle that would help us get to the shoreline or help us to get to a dock so we can wait for help. Along those lines, if we can't paddle to safety, we're required to have an anchor. We can simply throw this out and just wait for somebody to come and help us. If our vessel is to take on water, one of the required things to have is some type of a bailing device. It could be a simple bucket, an ice chest, or anything that we can use to bail water out of the boat if it begins taking on water. Another thing we always want to keep in the vessel is a fire extinguisher. Make sure that you inspect these periodically to make sure that they are up to date and ready to go. Another item required to have on our vessel is a horn or a whistle. This gives us a way to signal if we need help. Last on our list of the required items to have on our vessel is properly working nighttime navigation lights. Have a safe day on the water.
And now, time for the Living Grand on Grand Lake events page. Visit the American Heritage Music Festival. Enjoy watching nationally sanctioned fiddle competitions on multiple stages, with the festival's finale concert featuring the winners in the fiddle division, plus a full evening of great entertainment, June 7th through the 9th. For event schedules, go online at grandlakefestivals.com. Are you an animal lover that enjoys a good theme party and giving back to the community? We have the event for you with this year's Barcaritaville, benefiting the Second Chance Rescue of Grand Lake. This Jimmy Buffett-themed gathering includes live music, food, and a charitable auction with proceeds benefiting animals in your community. Don't forget your Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops, and join us at the Parrot Steakhouse June 8th at 5:30 p.m. Team building, family togetherness, or strategizing with friends. Step up to the challenge at Grand Escape Room. Try your hand at their 3 different themed and difficulty leveled escape rooms. Find clues and come together to find your way out. Book your escape at grandescaperoom.com. Well, that's it for now from the Living Grand on Grand Lake events page. Welcome back to Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake, presented by Cherokee Casino Grove.
Growing up on Grand Lake gave Darrel Robertson a love of the outdoors, and he discovered a real talent for fishing. As a pro angler for nearly 25 years, he's one of the top 2 highest money winners in the state of Oklahoma. And out of the 5 largest bass tournaments ever held in the U.S., he placed first in one of them and second in the other. He's won more than $2 million in his career. Let's just say when he tells a story about the big one, I actually believe him. He's fished all over the world, but chooses to make Grand Lake his home. Here's more about this interesting Grand Laker.
When I was about 8 years old, my dad we used to go over to the river, and we'd fish from the bank over there, but he'd try to catch carp with dough balls and stuff, you know. And I was off down there piddling around, and I always watched Harold Lindsley, the sportsman's friend, you know, on television. He's my hero. But he was always bass fishing, and that's something that I kind of wanted to do. Well, I found me a green snake about that long in a little old bush. And so I had a sinker on my line, so I bit it off, and I took the sinker off, and I hooked that green snake right in the middle, and I throwed him out there in the river. And he's just swimming around. And there's a bass. Then it looked like his mouth was that big. It's probably about that big, but he came up and got that green snake. And he fooled around, and I got him up there pretty close to the bank, and he run and broke me off. But that's got me hooked on bass fishing, with that green snake. That's been something, because that fish probably weighed 5 or 6 pounds, and here I was 8 years old down there invented my own way to catch him, you know. You know, there's not a lot. There's a lot of guys that's a lot better fishermen than I am that never has fished a professional tournament, you know. But I think as a professional, though, what you do, you learn a lot more ways to catch fish, and that's one reason it's harder to win a tournament after you've been a pro for a while than it was when you first started. Because when you first started, you could go to a lake and say they're biting a spinnerbait, and you like throwing a spinnerbait, that's all you did. And you caught more fish than anybody else because you were doing what they wanted to do, you know. Well, on the FLW tournament, they're running 170 boats this year. The tournament, you fish 2 days and they cut the field to the top 30. The top 65 get paid, but they cut the field to the top 30. And then, you know, then you fish 1 day and they cut the field to the top 10. And then that's the last day only 10 people fish. You know, my best year was '99. And, you know, there was a lot of good fishermen back in the other century. You know, there was a lot of good fishermen. But I won more money than any other fisherman ever won in 1 year. In '99, I won $877,000 in 1 year. Wow. You know, other than that, I've just been kind of an average fisherman. I haven't won another tournament since '99, but I finished second, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 times. And they were big tournaments. The first time that the FLW paid $1 million for the championship, I finished second. And I lost 2 fish, and neither one of them would have won it for me because I only weighed in 3 fish on the second or third day, and that was after the weight went back to 0. But anyhow, I was tickled to have second, but I wanted first. But right now, you probably need to start fishing the BFLs, you know, like on the FLW circuit, and then you need to fish the coasters, and you need to work your way up, you know. we've got every other kind of fish that you could ask for in Grand Lake. You know, we've got docks, brush piles, we've got willow trees when the lake's up, we've got buckbrush. You know, we've got everything you could ask for. Besides, we don't have high drilling. Well, I mean, I enjoy it. I got grandkids and I got kids. We always fish guys and gals stuff. We fish Tuesday night jackpots and stuff. I never did fish with other people, you know, in the littler stuff around here. I always fish with my kids or fish with my grandkids. I've got a 12-year-old grandson that we've been fishing Tuesday night jackpots for like 2 years, or Thursday night jackpots, and I know one particular tournament, their 3-fish limit, he caught every fish we weighed in. I mean, he's actually a good fisherman. I don't have to help him. I haven't ever had to help him. He ties on his own bait, figures out what he wants to throw, and you know, his other grandpa died about 3 years ago, but he told me before he died, he said, don't quit fishing until you've got him raised up, because he'll be good. He'll be as good as anybody ever was. I thank the good Lord for my health every day. I'll be 70 here in about 10 months, so I feel like I'm about 50. I'm going to elk hunt until I'm 90. I tell my wife, my prayer would be that in my late 90s, I'll be way up on top of a mountain trying to gut a big elk I've killed and have a heart attack, you know. But I'll be on top of that mountain.
You can follow Daryl on Instagram and Facebook to keep up with his exciting career, or just watch the news. Anytime there's an FLW Costa fishing tournament, chances are they'll be talking about pro angler and Grand Laker Darrel Robertson. You can find us on Facebook as well. Just search for Living Grand on Grand Lake to like and follow us. You can also visit rsu.tv anytime to see past episodes of our show. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more on Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Grand Lake's newest destination for great fun is located just off the lake in Grove. At Cherokee Casino Grove, you'll experience exceptional food and outstanding service. Stop in to relax with your favorite drink and root for your team on the big screen. Experience live local music on the 1897 stage every weekend. Cherokee Casino Grove on Highway 59 at East 250 Road. It's the most fun you'll have off the water.
After finishing high school, I immediately got married and started my family. Without a college degree, I found that pretty quickly my options were limited. When I started looking around for a college program for working adults, I quickly found that Rogers State was a great fit. They worked with me to get financial aid, offered classes that fit my busy schedule, and gave me personalized attention that I couldn't get at a larger school. Rogers State definitely started me on my professional career.
Every day, the employees of the Grand River Dam Authority strive for excellence by focusing on the 5 E's: employees, electricity, environmental stewardship, economic development, and efficiency. We do this by producing low-cost, reliable electricity that touches 75 of the 77 counties in the state. At no cost to the taxpayers, we also manage 70,000 surface acres of lakes and the scenic Illinois River. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity for Oklahoma.
Welcome back to Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake, presented by Cherokee Casino Grove.
Welcome back. For decades, Har-Ber Village has been a major destination. Hundreds of thousands of people have flocked to the Outdoor Museum to take a trip back in time. Located right on the shores of Grand Lake, guests enjoy some of the best views on the lake. With their latest attraction, guests can also enjoy some of the best views of nature on their new walking trail. Along with other new attractions, you'll want to add this one to your summer wish list.
Har-Ber Village was 50 years old last year. It was founded by a couple from Springdale, Arkansas. Their names were Harvey and Bernice Jones, and that's how Har-Ber Village got its name, the first 3 letters of their first names, Harvey and Bernice Jones. The museum got its start when Harvey built a chapel, a little church for Bernice. She didn't want to continue to go into town. She wanted to have a chapel right here on the grounds. They bought land shortly after the lake went in, and they spent their summers over here. And so he did build her a church. And so right around 68 is when the museum got started, 1968. And a lot of people would see the chapel on the banks and they would come over and explore and see what was there. Well, one thing led to another, and before you knew it, the minister had a house and his school, his children had a school and that sort of thing. They used to walk the grounds and just think, oh, it'd be nice if we had this here or that there. This would be a good place for this or that. They really didn't plan on having a museum, it just sort of happened. And they started going to antique auctions and buying up things, and they bring back truckloads full to put into the museums. Many of the buildings were cabins from the four-state area that Harvey had seen when he was out driving around. He had them taken apart by his crew at the Jones truck lines. They'd bring them here and they would reassemble them and make them part of the village. And each of the cabins houses a different collection or a different pioneer home. Well, Har-Ber Village Museum is primarily a museum, and it's a pioneer era museum. It's from about the 1830s up to the 1930s. And we are very aware of the fact that we are on Indian territory, Cherokee Nation, and so some of our exhibits, we include that kind of information as well. But we're not just a museum, not just a pioneer era village, we also have many collections of things, dishes, dolls, quilts, clocks, you name it, we've got it. But we're more than a museum as well, because we have a nature trail here for people to walk on. We have the Har-Ber Village Mining Company that is now open. You can come and pan for minerals and gemstones, which ties in nicely with one of our exhibits that is rocks and fossils and that kind of thing. We have a cafe on the grounds. We have a wonderful country store here too, that you can buy all kinds of different things. I'm not sure that there was exactly gold mining in here. We had lead mines and we had, other kinds of mines. I don't know about that this is really the right place for gold. I could be corrected on that. But certainly lots of minerals, and there is a diamond mine not too far from us. So those kinds of things are all sorts of treasures that you could find. So we just thought it would make a nice addition to the nature trail and to what people can experience here. And it supplements our, our educational purpose and the natural history part of our museum. Well, the trail started a while ago. There was a gentleman that was a superintendent here in Grove who donated about 10 acres of land. And that started the trail. But over time it had suffered some erosion and that. About 3 years ago, we got a grant from the state that allowed us to go in and improve the trails and then also pave some of them. So now we have 3/4 of a mile that are paved and it's almost a 2-mile path. Part of the trail now goes down by the lake, which we did not have the lake view before, but it's quite beautiful. And we have all sorts of people come out, enjoy being out in nature, and we have interpretive signs along the way so you can learn about the butterflies of Oklahoma, the trees, and other wildlife here. We had a lady come here from Phoenix that made a point of coming back to me after she'd gone up to go to the cafe to have lunch. She said, I have gone to museums all over the country and this is really special. I love how the pathway meanders through the village and you're welcome to explore on your own, and the diversity of artifacts and collections that you have is truly amazing. And that's the kind of thing that people say. The museum is all about having people relive memories, share those with their families, and it makes history more relevant and more meaningful, I think. It means a lot because we do spend considerable time cleaning windows, cobwebs, smudgy fingerprints and nose prints off of things, and dusting collections, and keeping the roofs repaired and the logs replaced and the nature trail pathways blown. When we see people out there enjoying that and enjoying what we have to offer and hearing the positive comments about how clean the place is, how well organized, that really means a lot to all of us.
To learn more, visit har-bervillage.com or find them on Facebook. Well, that's it for this edition of Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm Christy Wallace. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week with more.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Mid-America Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is presented by Cherokee Casino Grove and made possible by...
At the Mid-America Industrial Park in Pryor, there are over 100 jobs waiting for someone just like you. These are high-paying jobs that don't require a degree. With over 80 manufacturing plants to choose from, it's easy to find your dream career. Need training? Don't worry, because Mid-America provides on-campus classes supported by employers. If you have recently graduated from high school and want to start a career in manufacturing, earning a great wage and benefits, visit midamericadeliver's.com to learn more.
Also by...
Every day, the employees of the Grand River Dam Authority strive for excellence by focusing on the 5 E's: employees, electricity, environmental stewardship, economic development, and efficiency. We do this by producing low-cost, reliable electricity that touches 75 of the 77 counties in the state. At no cost to the taxpayers, we also manage 70,000 surface acres of lakes and the scenic Illinois River. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity for Oklahoma.
Plus by...
I had the drive to boost my earning power.
I was driven to be more competitive in the job market.
Finishing my degree, that's what drives me.
If you left college without a degree, Reach Higher, Oklahoma's degree completion program, can change your life. You get affordable tuition, flexible class schedules with online options, and a degree from a state university.
I was driven to earn my diploma.
And I did it.
Apply today at reachhigheroklahoma.org. Let your drive drive you.
And by viewers and members like you.